Do you really trust the people you're doing business with? You've probably heard that your network is your net worth. But what if your network is secretly working against you? Imagine waking up one morning to discover your closest partner just drained your company resources, or your trusted team quietly undermined your vision. These scenarios aren't fiction, they're real. And they happen every single day. If you've ever felt betrayed, blindsided, or baffled by those you trusted, you need to stay tuned. This episode will uncover the hidden realities and harsh lessons about human behavior in business that most people learn too late. You weren't born to play small. You were born to lead a movement. Let's talk about the price of that calling. Behind every legend, there was a coach. Michael Jordan had Tim Grover. Mike Tyson had Cus D'Amato. Michael Jackson had Cooley Jackson. Warren Buffett had Benjamin Graham. Alexander the Great had Aristotle. You didn't know their names until the world met the ones they coached. You may not know my name yet, but I'm Colin Nicholas George, and together we're gonna make you legendary. Hey, it's Colin George, and today I'm going to break down what no one tells you about being an entrepreneur. Not the Lambos, not the fake hustle, but the truth. This path will test you mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. If you're thinking of stepping into this game, or you're in it and wondering why it hurts, this is for you. Years ago, when I was just starting my entrepreneurial journey, I believed in a simple formula: provide value, work hard, and trust freely. Then reality hit, and it hit hard. My trusted mentor not only misled me, but actively sabotaged my opportunities. My team, who I treated like family, turned out to be more interested in their own gains than the shared vision we had. Partnerships dissolved overnight, and what once felt like a solid ground turned into quicksand beneath my feet. These painful experiences forced me to confront the uncomfortable truths about human nature in business. But from those hard-earned lessons, I developed a survival guide, a framework for navigating relationships safely and strategically. Today, I'm peeling back the curtain on these dark truths so you can learn from my trials and avoid the same costly mistakes. If you relate to these struggles, smash the like button, comment below about your own experiences with trust and betrayal in business, and subscribe to learn more insider truths most entrepreneurs avoid talking about. Your support helps us bring more of these critical lessons directly to you guys. Navigating human behavior doesn't have to be complex. Understanding human psychology simplifies your interactions and reduces potential conflicts. Here's how you can break down this complexity into 4 clear truths. First one, understand human behavior and psychology. Recognize that humans are primarily driven by emotions, not logic. Learn the basic psychological principles like reciprocity, social proof, and authority to better predict and influence outcomes positively. Okay? Now, this is something that you really need to understand. If you want to be successful, you need to understand human nature. The reality is, like attracts like, but at the same time, there's something called the law of polarity, which means if I'm a phenomenal human being, or you're a phenomenal human being, you will attract bad people. Why? The laws of nature. It's a void. The bad people need good, and the good people need bad. We live in a binary world. And for some of you, it may make sense and it may not make sense. So you need to understand this on a different plane. This is a spiritual war that you're dealing with and you need to understand immediately. So a lot of you go to work or, you run your companies, and sometimes people, they leave you uneasy. And the reason is because it is for a reason. Trust your gut, and you know what? Your gut's probably not going to let you down. Now, the reality is, guys, I, especially in my early stages, never trusted my gut enough. What I did is I gave people chances. I try to see the best in them. And the reality is, science and psychology will prove you otherwise. Now, when I started to study psychology, how, facial protrusion actually is a sign that somebody has done a certain amount of deeds, your physiology is actually based off of your actions. And that's crazy to hear, guys, that your physiology is actually derived from the actions that you take. So if you're a lazy person, you will look like a lazy person. If you're a strong-willed person, you will carry the characteristics of a strong-willed person. So these are the things you need to understand. So if you're looking at people and they give you this weird vibe and you think that they're low-key a snake, it's because they probably are. Now, this is where the battle happens. You have to battle between personal upbringing, social constructs, and the truth. And this was very difficult for me, especially within the first 5 years of me being an entrepreneur. Number two, people act in their own interest, except that everyone has their personal agenda. Don't be disappointed when this surfaces. Instead, anticipate and strategically align mutual interests from the start. And what do I mean by that? So for instance, if you know that this person gives off the vibe that they're only here for money, okay, well, you being an entrepreneur, you're here in it for money as well. So you got to find a mutual interest, a mutual, benefit for both parties. So the reality is you may have to pay this person a little bit more money because that's what motivates them, right? You may have to give them more hours, whatever it may be, okay? Because the reality is they are motivated by money. Now, what you cannot do is be naive. And this is where most people fail. They are naive to the situation. So, this goes truth for somebody who comes in here for an opportunity. Now, you want to create more opportunities as an entrepreneur or business owner. Now, if somebody's coming into your business looking for opportunity, you need to strategically align the mutual interest. Because the reality is somebody's looking for opportunity, they're going to have dark triad traits as well. And that's something we'll go on in a later video. But for this specific video, you need to understand if somebody wants a growth opportunity, you need to understand they want to be the captain of their own ship at some point. They will leave your business or figure out a way to take over your company. You just don't know. And this is where people get this wrong. I know it sounds crazy. How the hell am I supposed to survive? You told me about the truth of entrepreneurs. Now you're telling me that the people that I hire in my business may be snakes? I'm telling you, yes. Yes, they may actually be snakes. And I've dealt with this for over a decade. To this day, I don't take it personal. I just understand human nature. Human nature is everybody's out for themselves, which is why society is in a decline, because we didn't build society by human beings only being, there for themselves. We actually built it on group and community. Now, that's something that's lost by the very things that you're actually watching this on. Social media. Social media actually makes you believe that you're more important than you are. And trust me, I've dealt with it myself. So I'm telling you from personal experience, if somebody's been sitting on their couch or they work for another company and some influencer tells them, man, you got to leave your job and keep going to places that people will respect you and appreciate you, well, they're going to come in with ego. Well, don't think you can talk to me any which way you want. I'm coming in here. I'm the best at what I do. And that may not actually be true. Does that make sense to you guys? But the problem is you have to deal with that person. Okay? So if you have to deal with that person, you're probably better off going into my next point. Expectations often lead to disappointments. People rarely meet your unspoken expectations. Clearly define what is in it for them, explicitly outlining mutual benefits to minimize letdown. So you need to let people know exactly how it's going to be. So for some people, if you're going on the long journey, because the reality is, what most people don't understand, it's about a minimum decade in whatever you're doing. A minimum decade. People think, oh, I'm gonna get rich quick, small percentage, actually do, and it's not sustainable. So it's gonna take you a decade minimum to see extraordinary wealth. But don't give up. These are just things to help you guys. So if you see these signs, I want you to understand, these are normal. This is normal. It's part of the matrix in which we're living in. But the reality is, I don't want you guys to give up on your dreams. But you need to understand the dark truths. Does that make sense? There is no light without dark, and there is no dark without light. So understand these little concepts. Now, I know it sounds weird to say about all these things and feel a little bit uneasy, and it's totally off. But the reality is, you still need to trust. Now, this goes into my next point. Trust, but always verify. Relationships should be based on trust, but blind trust is dangerous. Verify intentions through consistent actions and maintain clear checkpoints and accountability measures. Now, what that means is have KPIs, key performance indicators. You guys need to set up KPIs, and you need to be very, very strategic with your KPIs. It can't be amount made, dollars made, sales made. You need to actually create a culture where your KPIs are reflective of positive actions, like positive customer interactions, customer retention. These are key KPIs. But if you have KPIs and people get rewarded just because of the dollar amount they bring in or how much sales, you're definitely going to get those people who come in and take everything from you. Now, the reality is that's your fault. And it's your fault because what you reward is only based on dollar amount. Now, you need to have KPIs on, leads generated, customers contacted, customers happiness. So many different metrics you guys can actually put into your CRMs and so forth, and you can use these KPIs to actually build the phenomenal culture. Now, the unfortunate truth is most of you reward people based on how much sales they bring in. Unspoken truth is, if you're going to do that, you're going to attract people who are just there for the money and are going to try to fuck you over. That's the reality. Now, it has to be a culture that is beyond money. I've worked years without making money, and I've made millions of dollars. So it doesn't matter to me whether or not I'm making money, because I have a belief system, gets me over certain obstacles. Because I'm gonna get mine regardless. It doesn't matter. People can try and stop me, people can quit. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get mine. But the reason I have that confidence, the reason I have that mentality is because I don't work for money. But 90% of people will. The true entrepreneurs, the true, people out there who are making great headways in the world, they will not work for money. They will work to build, they will work to mean something to the world, to make a massive impact in the world. The unfortunate truth, guys, is you are too trusting of these people because what you reward is only based on sales and money coming in. Sometimes you need to have that person, hey, positive attitude KPI. Have a KPI about positive attitude. Because one thing I'll tell you guys, somebody comes into your business with a bad fucking attitude, they can ruin your business. Bad attitude is one of the most toxic things I've ever seen in my entire life. A bad attitude stifles everything. And the problem is, guys, is you, the entrepreneur, are going to be affected by it. So the only thing you can do is create culture in which it doesn't affect you. Does that make sense? And I know it's tough to hear, and you're hearing all these things. Well, Colin, what am I going to do? Well, applying these truths transforms complexity into clarity, giving you a solid foundation to effectively manage your business relationships. So, if you do not effectively manage your business relationships will manage you. And that is the unfortunate truth. So, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what is human nature? Human nature is to take, especially in today's world. So, I need to be extremely aware of the fact that most people are going to be takers. I'll be honest with you. People, it's a law of average thing. You'll have people come and go in your business. Do not take it personal. Do not take it personal. It is what it is. People have their own lives. The reality is people think the main character in the story, especially your story. A lot of people will think they're the main character in your story, which is narcissism at its highest form. But you're gonna have to deal with it. I've dealt with it and I've overcame these obstacles. Does that make sense? So let's make these insights practical. Establish clear agreements. Always have written agreements with explicit conditions and deliverables. This reduces misunderstandings, eliminates ambiguity, and ensures accountability. Regular and transparent check-ins. Maintain frequent and open communication. These practices reduce surprises and makes it easier to spot red flags early. Keeping relationships healthy and aligned is quintessential. You need to diversify relationships. Law of no attachment, guys. Do not get attached to people in your business. I don't care if it's your friend, your family member, your girlfriend, or your wife. I have seen it all. I have seen wives, I've seen husbands destroy companies. So you need to diversify your relationships. Never place all your trust in a single person or partnership. This is why I have multiple companies, okay? And I have multiple people operating different companies. So the reality is you can't trust everybody. But when you do get the right people and the trust is earned, you gotta treat them with the most love, respect, honor you possibly can. That's another video I'll probably create as well. But by diversifying your connections, you reduce vulnerability and ensure your success isn't contingent on one individual's actions. Implement these strategies now, and you'll immediately notice fewer disruptions and increased reliability in your business relationships. And you guys need to understand, nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. So the same standard in which you judge yourself may not be wise to judge people to the same standard. Because the reality is, people are in it for themselves. You're gonna love your business, but people will not love your business. They're just there for a paycheck. That's the reality. Give them their paycheck, keep your distance, give them, all the tools they need to succeed. And at the same time, trying to influence them into other things, it will be a waste of time. I have dealt with this hundreds of times. I thought I was gonna be a good human being by trying to save people and making sure, hey man, it's not about this, it's not about that. And every single time you will be left disappointed. It is in your best interest to focus on the business, focus on the right people within the business, and the naysayers and the takers, just ignore them and replace them as soon as you possibly can. Does that make sense? And it's a law of averages games, guys, okay? And I want you to understand, your time to act is right now. Why? Because each moment you delay implementing these strategies increases your exposure to risk, betrayal, manipulation, or simple negligence can cause irreversible damage to your business. you have snakes in the grass. What you need to do is figure out who that is. And sometimes, guys, it's the people closest to you. They'll come in depressed, they'll come in with their problems, they'll try to destroy all the positive energy that you have, and it happens every single day. So guys, manage expectations, manage your energy, manage the people. Right now, I want you to do this. I want you to assess your current business relationships, identify potential threats, clarify and communicate expectations, and put safeguards in place. The faster you act, the quicker you secure your business's stability and growth. Remember, knowing these darker truths isn't just helpful, it's essential to your business's survival and your personal peace of mind. Trust me, guys, people in this world will try to take your peace away from you. Understand, life is war, and the only peace you get is from understanding and accepting the truth for what it is. At the end of the day, I want you guys to stay positive. But the reality is, not everybody's going to be positive. So you need to understand that. So when negative things come to you, you are able to defeat it because you have a positive attitude and you understand the real dark truth about this bullshit. I know all these, people online try to tell you guys, yeah, man, start your own business, do this, yeah, man. Be positive with the, certain people who are snakes. Don't worry, turn the other cheek. That will fuck you. You will get fucked for turning the other cheek. Let God have mercy for these people. That makes sense? Let God have mercy for these people. The reality is, guys, you need to protect this business at all costs. Unfortunate reality is, business isn't all handshakes and partnerships. It's navigating the shadows with wisdom and preparedness. If today's insights resonated, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel is dedicated to guiding you through the realities most people avoid discussing openly. And I'm here, guys, to tell you the truth. Because the reality is, people will lie to you. That is human nature. Understand the psychology of people, and you'll be able to navigate your business, your relationships, your life, your kids. Your kids are gonna lie to you. Your kids are gonna lie to you. So you're gonna think that your business partners are gonna be perfect, and your kids, your own seed, will lie to you. So hopefully this resonated with you guys, but I'm Colin George, and I'm out.